Man, that Digital Circus video essay was a lot of work. I'm glad I was able to finish it before episode 3, though. It's a shame that no one will ever see it since I don't really have that big of an online presence. Oh well. Hi, I'm Bluesu. I'm the person that did a half-hour analysis of Digital Circus, and it did way better than I thought it would. I've been very flattered, reading all of your comments and watching my ego crash through the roof of my house. I am very grateful for that everyone enjoyed the last video, and I'll be doing an update video about stuff that's happened since then and what's going to happen in the future. I'll be analyzing a bit of episode 3, and I'll be talking about what I might be doing next. This is going to be a little bit less structured and more casual than my last video, since when it comes to my thoughts on episode 3, I don't really have as much to say as I did on the last one. I'll just be going through my updated thoughts. But first off, I'm going to be looking through some of the corrections that I wanted to make from my last video. The first thing that I wanted to talk about is the teapots. I did a funny little rant about the teapots at the end of the last video, and then that was mostly just because I wanted a joke to end it on. But apparently, it's a reference to the Utah teapot. It's apparently like a sort of inside joke in the 3D modeling community. Apparently, it's like a really good shape to experiment with lighting and stuff, and that's really cool. I am now 0.1% more knowledgeable about 3D modeling, and that's really awesome. I learn new things every day. The second thing I wanted to mention was that Gooseworks actually already answered what the theme of Digital Circus is on Tumblr, which I didn't see beforehand, and that would have been very useful to know about. The basic idea was that there is meaning to be found in a stagnant life. In my eyes, this is basically a more specific version of the theme of existentialism and connecting with others that I established last video, which will be super useful since a more specific theme is always better for analysis. So yeah, thank you to everyone that brought up the Utah teapot thing and what Gooseworks said about the theme. So on episode 3, it's definitely continuing the themes of episode 2, which is finding connection in the face of existential helplessness. There's a lot of a focus on the adventures, and Pomni's having a hard time dealing with them. I think that, personally, the adventures might be an allegory just for the everyday hardships of life or something. This could be the stagnancy in finding meaning in a stagnant life. The adventures represent the stagnance, I guess. And so, because Pomni's having trouble with that, she connects with Kinger in the episode, and that kind of, it's like, oh, connection with other people helps you through the stagnancy of life. That's definitely what I think the episode is going for. And, actually one thing that I thought was very cool was that in the conversation that Pomni has with Kinger, the music in the background, which is like this kind of quiet piano, it's playing the melody that is played during when Pomni and Gummigoo get out of the back rooms. So I found that very cool. I think it's probably going to be some sort of musical motif, maybe for like connection or epiphanies and about like stagnant lives and that sort of thing. And this sort of thing now with the release of episode 3, I definitely think the overarching theme is, connecting with others is the best way to get through stagnant life. I think that for each episode, since Gooseworks has said that each episode is about a different character, this sort of theme could definitely fit into the overarching theme of the show, where each episode Pomni connects with a different person, and because the whole theme of the show is about connecting with other people, that seems to make sense. So one thing that I also thought was like really funny when I was watching the episode was when Kinger is like, the most cruel thing you can do is make someone feel like they're not wanted. And the reason why I thought that was funny was not because of the line itself, but because that feels like an allusion to Jax and how shitty he is. So I thought that was personally, just to me, very funny. It seems like a jab at him. Going forward, Kinger doesn't really seem to have an arc in this episode. It's mostly just Pomni kind of dealing with the adventure and then learning to connect with Kinger. But his memory with Queenie could definitely be foreshadowing about how connection with others can... I don't think they're gonna reverse abstraction. I just don't think that's very dramatically satisfying. I don't think it's a sort of thing where, we'll go into the basement and we'll reverse all the abstracted characters. But I do think maybe there does seem to be a lot of foreshadowing that one of the characters is at least going to get semi-abstracted. And I think that maybe King's memory with Queenie in the little blanket fort might be foreshadowing to how they're going to deal with that if one of the characters does get abstracted. Because it kind of feels like a Chekhov's gun. It's going to happen at some point. It has to. But yeah, this would definitely definitely also continue themes from episode 2, and what I now think is the overarching theme of the show, where connection with others is good. It's based. That So another thing is that with the Zubul B plot, which I really did enjoy, what was very interesting to me was I kind of did like a little bit of a jump where I was like, oh, Caine is an allegory for the chaotic forces of the universe, which I'm still kind of like a little bit iffy on. But one thing that did interest me about Caine in this episode is that he kind of reminds me a bit of Gummy Goo and his arc, because Gummy Goo's arc in episode 2 is a lot about him just trying to like, oh, what is my life? What am I going to do with my life, because I've only been made to be an obstacle for these characters? What am I outside of that? And Caine actually has a very similar mindset. He thinks, oh, well, making adventures is the only thing I'm good for. So if I'm not good at that, then what am I? And so it is actually quite similar to Gummy Goo's arc. So I definitely think that there's going to be something where they have to connect with him in some way. And the therapy session, I think, is a very good representation of that. Also, with him glitching the whole thing, that definitely also feels like a Chekhov's gun, where he's going to reach some sort of breaking point and it's going to like, oh, the entire circus is glitching. We gotta emotionally connect with Caine to kind of resolve this plot conflict. So I definitely think that that's something that they're gonna do. And it also connects with like, oh, finding connection in, meaningless world. You can be who you are outside of what you're programmed for and all that good stuff. One thing I found a bit worrying was I also made the guess that Jax might kill an NPC. And now I'm thinking, because of how much Caine reminds me of Gummy Goo's arc, that Jax might kill Caine. I don't actually think that's going to happen. I think probably at most Jax is going to do something that triggers some sort of bad mental breakdown from Caine. I don't think they're going to kill Caine because he's too iconic. They won't just kill him. Although Gooseworks doesn't seem to really care about appealing to the audience, so it's very possible that she might do something ballsy like that, but I just don't think it's going to happen. But I do think Jax might do something because he sucked up the ghost in that episode. He still doesn't really care about NPCs. So it's very possible that he'll like say something to trigger Caine's mental breakdown, and then everyone gets mad at him because he sucks. But yeah, that's basically my thoughts on episode 3. I've really enjoyed it. Despite all the quote-unquote jump scares and stuff, it felt a little bit quieter than the last 2 episodes, and I really enjoyed that. And I also really enjoyed Kinger and learning more about their experiences in the circus. I almost thought they were gonna save all this stuff for later, but they're giving it all to us now, which I really like. So since that's episode 3, I want to also talk about future stuff that I might be doing. I'm definitely going to do at least one more digital circus episode. There's one I had planned on episode 2 that's just about Ragatha. I was waiting until episode 3 to see if I would still be able to make it. And yeah, a lot of the stuff in episode 3 doesn't really change my thoughts on that. So I might make another video about that. But I also don't really want to make just videos about digital circus because I like the show, but I don't want it to just be that. I have a lot of other ideas for other stuff I might want to make. One thing that I definitely want to make a video about is Gravity Falls. I've had a video that I've had in my mind for a while now about Ford, so I definitely want to make that. That'll probably be the next thing that I make. But the thing is that the videos take a lot of time, so I don't think it's gonna be like in a week or something. That would be crazy. So it might take a while. It won't take like 4 months like it did last time, because the reason why that took so long was because I procrastinated for a really long time. But anyway, thank you for watching. This was a little bit more kind of casual because I wanted to get this out quickly, and I didn't really want to kind of make a full-on episode 3 analysis because my thoughts on it were very quick, and I didn't think it warranted another half an hour video. Like, oh, this is all the shit you missed in episode 3. But yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this more casual video. And I'll see you next time, I guess, because I guess I'm a YouTuber now. Bye!